Hello, folks! It is I, Alex Rusher, and today we are doing a little bit of an update video. It's been a hot bit since I last talked about stuff, so here we are. It is the year 2020, the year that just can't stop being insane. You know, we started the year with, threats of the coronavirus, and eventually it, really hit America starting March and April. February, we had the Australian wildfires, and May and June have been focused on the Black Lives Matter protest while all of this has been going on. But we're going to be touching on those a little bit and how it's impacted the channel and my decisions around that. And we're also going to be talking about my life, as I am kind of the central figure of the channel. I'm the person who edits, I'm the person who streams, I'm the person who, does all the publishing, analytics, and all that. So we're going to be doing a deep dive into all the aspects that are going on, all the variables, and why, what's going on. So let's get started. And I'm a little bit of an egotistical person, as you know, so we're going to start with talking about my life and what's been going on. So I haven't actually made an announcement about this, either in my personal life or in the kind of like internet realm that I live in, but I recently finished my higher education, so I am officially educated with a fancy piece of paper, and it's fun, it's great. I'm done with going to classes. What sucks is the 9 to 5. Now I say that largely in jest, because I'm very fortunate to have a job, especially during this whole COVID crisis. And I know that a lot of people are struggling to make ends meet, going off unemployment, and it's a painful thing to watch. I'm gonna be honest, and I really am hoping that our government can provide more support to those people. And I'm primarily talking about America because that is the realm that I'm in, and I'm unhappy with how things are being handled in America, and it's a lot. So I have a job, and I've been working 9 to 5. So I'm working a lot of the times, and then once 5 o'clock rings, or 6 o'clock, depending on if I take a second break or something like that, I'm done for the day with work. And then I have a couple options on what I can do. I can, make myself some food, go out and get some food with a mask, obviously, gotta stay safe. Remember. Or I can, edit, or I can play games. And there's a lot of options that I have to choose, and, I want to try to go to bed at a decent time, because I have to wake up at, 7 or 6, depending on how tired I am. So sleep limitation as well, you take a look at a clock, and you have 8 hours of rest, 8 hours of work, and 8 hours of, relaxation and actually getting the necessities done. And so it's, how do I want to spend that 8 hours? And a portion of it has to be spent with my family. A portion of it has to be spent, on normal things like, brush my teeth, laundry, shopping, and the like, browsing the web, YouTube. And there's just, those aren't necessities. Those are what I was going to get into next, which is, there's a lot of recreational stuff that I wish I could do, exercising, I've been doing a little bit of Ring Fit Adventure. I have actually been off of it for a little bit, just because I've been kind of unfocused, and wasn't feeling all that great. Exercise, playing other games. I have so many games that I want to play so badly, but I kind of stop myself in a way, because on one hand I could do them as a series, but on another hand, do I want to do another like 100+ part series of a game like Xenoblade Chronicles or Persona 4 Golden, which just came out on Steam, big wins, or Satisfactory, or another Minecraft series, more on that later, Stardew Valley, like the list goes on. And then I also have to continue editing Earthbound. I only have, out of the footage that I have around 30 episodes recorded, and I have 25 episodes edited and rendered. I still have to catch up on that, and those commitments. And it's trying to figure out how I want to best spend the time that I have. And sadly, with the interest that I have in the moment and kind of the waning enticement towards that sort of thing, I've kind of shirked on editing. I've kind of shirked on power leveling for Pokemon Shield Nuzlocke, and it's a lot. It's a whole lot, and it's also reading about what's going on in the world, and it's like it really stresses me out what's going on with the U.S. presidency and the way that they're responding to the Black Lives Matter protests and the coronavirus response, and seeing everything. It's scary. It's a scary world that we're living in right now. But I just wanted to like make note of these things, because it is one of the things that is taking me away from what I want to do with this channel. Let's talk about some of the stuff that I have been doing on the relating to the channel. So this is a bit of a negative, but I did have good reason. I don't know how many people were looking for these, but I in the past have done a series on Oblivion, Metroid Zero Mission. I did a bit of gameplay for Fable, a bit for Saints Row, a bit for Stanley Parable, Modern Warfare 2 on veteran difficulty, and Super Mario Galaxy All Stars, or like all the stars in Super Mario Galaxy. And I recently wiped every single one of those videos off of my channel. Why did I do that? A portion of it is, I'm gonna be honest, there was some identifying information inside of those, very minimal, in like a couple frames, but I knew that they existed, and only taking one of those videos out would be weird. And another part of it is I want to revisit some of the games that I've played already, and a lot of those I've recorded on my Hauppauge HD PVR. If you don't know about that, that is the classic next to Dazzle, and the Hauppauge had horrible frame rate issues due to horrible encoding standards. Like, the people who have Elgatos do not realize how good you guys have it. People who have OBS do not know how good you guys had it, because man, Fraps back in the day used to tank systems, and Hauppauges did not record really well. So I privated all those series, and I have the intention of replaying a couple of them and having them be a little bit more edited, a little bit better commentated, because people improve over time. One of the first ones I am thinking about remastering is Metroid Zero Mission, because that game is near and dear to my heart. One of my favorites. I did a little Twitter trend of 4 games that defined you, and Metroid Zero Mission was one of those. So that is one of the games that I know for a fact that I am going to be remastering for stream, or not a stream, but it's just like a recording of it, because I really do love that game. Whew, that's a lot. I also just want to do a quick shout out to the fact that I have new channel art, and I've kind of tuned stuff up a little bit across my platforms. I think all the stuff looks really good now, and I hope you guys enjoy the aesthetic that was definitely not taken from Twitch marketing materials. Anyway. Anyway, we're gonna start getting into a little bit more of the serious topics that I want to talk about, and this pertains to me returning to doing content creation on Twitch and other platforms. So let's get into it. So, coronavirus is the plague that is sweeping the nation. People are upset. They have to wear masks, to go outside, to spend their time with friends, but they have to be 6 feet apart. You can trust nobody. It's an invisible enemy. If you're smart about it, it's not that big of a deal. And the world has shifted to account for that. And I'm very appreciative of that. Online shopping has been a huge boon during this, at the expense of Jeff Bezos making a whole lot more money. But there's been a lot of other variables that have been going on with this. And to add flame to the already existent fire, we have the death of George Floyd, which had sparked the calls for ending police violence towards minority communities and specifically towards Black communities, or Black individuals. And it's tricky for me. It's tricky for me to make a statement. I am white. I grew up in a very nice place. And I'm a lot more fortunate than a lot of people. I've had a lot of chances, and I've had a lot of opportunities to discuss, what is the appropriate response. I've talked with my good friend Nelson. I've talked with my good friend Harry. I've talked with my good friend. Talked to a whole bunch of people on it, and what is the appropriate response? What is the right way to approach this, and what to support? And it's been very tricky. It has been very tricky because I don't want a gesture that I do to, seem like it's for pity points. I don't want it to be oh, I did this, I've done my part, I'm done. I don't have to contribute anymore. Because that's something that I'm afraid of being perceived as doing. And with the return to doing live streaming, that has been something that is difficult for me to judge. When is the appropriate time? In my initial tweet thread, I said that I'm I'm slowing down my role of streaming to try to lift up other creators. Just have less clog in the system, I guess. But at the same time, I also understand charity dynamics, and I understand that one of the strategies for those is you do small pushes, like once a month for a week or so, to try to raise money so people can, rebuild their, finances so that they can donate again. And so from what I can see, and I don't want to say this because it's a very defeatist take, but the Black Lives Matter donations and charities and events and all of that have slowed down a whole lot on Twitch over the last couple of days. And it's now been a lot more focused on Pride Month, which is equally as important because the LGBTQA plus community has also been discriminated for an extended period of time. Whether or not it was more or less than the Black community, it's up in the air. At least with the amount of research that I've done. I don't know. And that's something that I should do to educate myself. But seeing this transition of trends, it has me hesitant to return to doing streaming. But it's so difficult to walk this line. And I've always kind of said this. This is like a weird quirk in my brain. Is I am almost an 100 subscriber YouTuber who has the mindset of a million subscriber YouTube, where it's you want to be as supportive as you can of these communities and give them a platform to shine on, but I don't have the clout or any of the sort to do that. So I'm stuck with looking at privatized options, donations, and this is the exact talking point that Nelson was trying to dissuade me from going down. So we're going to make it nice and simple. Looking at the trend data, a lot of the creators who are trying to support the Black Lives Matter movement have done their part and will probably do more streams to try to raise money for those things. And try to be as helpful as possible. But I'm gonna put my opinion in and feel like the primary wave of support for the Black Lives Matter movement on social media platforms like Twitch is winding down. And it might wind back up, and that will be great. I really do hope that, we can try to end some of the issues that are plaguing our country. Unconscious biases or conscious biases, beliefs that shouldn't even exist because they're just morally corrupt. Anyway, I'm going to say that I'm going to be starting to stream on Twitch again. And I'm all for the protests that are going on across the United States, across the world, trying to demilitarize the police. I think that is a good call. The defunding is really demilitarizing, which is getting rid of the AR-15s, getting rid of, the tanks, getting rid of the grenade launchers. Yes, I know that story's old. I'm making a reference to it though. And replacing and redistributing them to social care workers, essentially. I forget what the actual terminology is, but basically people to help talk down people in times of stress. People to help those who are struggling with drug abuse. People that are a lot more specialized for the incidents that are occurring. And I think that is a good approach. So that way there's less instances where the police are called in. There's a lot wrong with the policing system, and it's too difficult of a system for me to try to establish and be like, oh, these are the rules that need to be followed. And that's why I'm trusting them to the communities who are proposing these ideas, because I feel like they have the right idea. So that is going to conclude my statements. So, in summary, I am going to be trying to do more editing and edit more or add more time into my schedule to try to be more producing on stuff. I'm going to be I had deleted some stuff off the channel, but I have the intention to remaster some of those series. And that's going to be a whole lot of fun. I'm so excited for Metroid Zero Mission, I'm going to be honest. And I'm in full support of the Black Lives Matter movement because Black Lives Matter, and if you don't think so, what are you doing? What are you doing? Also, make sure to wear a mask, folks. It's not that scary. Oh my god. Oh, it's a violation of my right. Shut up. Shut up. Private businesses can kick you out if they want. If you're risking the lives of everyone else because you feel like you're so arrogant and hoity-toity. And sorry if this is a little bit ranty, but, I mean, science is something that I value a whole lot. And science is saying, you have to wear a mask? You have to wear a mask. Wear a mask. Don't be stupid. Plus, masks are looking fashionable. Have you seen some of like the luxury brands? Whew. Not even luxury brands. I mean, like little like you could spend $15 on a mask, add a filter, and be fashionable. It's gonna be a whole trend. I'm so excited for it. Anyway, that's gonna be it from me. Thank you very much. If you have any questions about it, about any of the statements I said, please bother me on Twitter, because I will definitely feud with you on it. Or just, have a friendly conversation. Anyway, I want to give a major thanks to the people who have helped me out with kind of coming up with what to say for this. Big shouts to Nelson, big shouts to Harry, big shouts, and big shouts to a whole bunch of accounts on Twitter that have helped me become informed. These are reporters, these are, independent reporters, these are, reporters for different websites, and yes, okay, there's going to be a little bit of bias. Who cares? People's lives matter, and specifically, Black Lives Matter in this moment. Big shout-outs to Aaron Rupar, Yamich Alcindor, Kyle Griffin, and then so those are like the main reporters. Ricky for the win from Internet Today. Really love those folks. I want to also shout out Anonymous, just because Anonymous has done a huge effort towards this, and I gotta give respect to the original hackers. Liam O'Brien and the whole Critical Role cast for their voices being added to this as well, and a couple other folks along the way. Anyway, check out all of those stuff, and get informed and get excited, because I'm gonna be coming back. Twitter is gonna be probably where I announce it, yeah. Thank you all for watching, and have a good rest of your day. Bye.